Hello to everyone. Today I am going to start part 2 of Dosadivijnaniyam. In part 1 we have discussed about normal functions of dosha dhatu mala. Prior to entering into part 2, I just want to say about chapter name, which is Dosadivijnaniyam, which says dosha adi. What is this word meaning of adi here? आदि शब्दे अर्थः धातुमला. What is this adi? Dosha adi. Adi means dhatu and mala. Vijnanam, jnanam means knowledge. So we are going to see about dosha, dhatu, mala, knowledge of these three. Yes, in part 1 we discussed about normal functions of dosha, dhatu, mala. In part 2 we will see increased functions of dosha, dhatu, mala. So first signs and symptoms of vata dosha. Vruddhastu kurute anilaha. Vruddhastu kurute anilaha. Kurute anilaha means when vata get increases, vruddha means vata, kurute anilaha increases when vata, anila, which is a symptom of vata dosha, anila symptom, not symptom, which is a synonym of vata dosha. Vata dosha synonym, another synonym is anila. Karsha karshinya ushna kamitva kampa anaha shakrit grahana. Bala nidriyendriya bramsha pralapa brahma dinata. So first, karsha. Karsha means emaciation. When vata increases, the dryness increases, and this dryness leads to wasting of tissue and essence of the body. So it leads to the emaciation. This is karsha. Karshinya means Krishna Varna, which is blackish discoloration. Krishna Varna, blackish discoloration. Karshinya. Ushna kamitva. One of the property of vata is shita, which means cool. And when the shita increases, we obviously like heat, hotness. So it leads to desire of heat. Kampa, tremors. Chala guna of vata leads to tremors. Anaha, distension, abdominal distension. It leads to the more movement due to chala guna. Shakrit grahana, constipation, dryness of vata, rauksha guna of the vata, leads to dryness. Balahani, obviously, emaciation leads to balahani, weakness. Bala nidrendriya bramsha. Bala bramsha, nidra bramsha, indriya bramsha. This is bala bramsha, means balahani. Nidra bramsha means loss of sleeplessness due to vata can be compared to the neurovascular system, neuro system, not vascular system. Even vascular system can be compared, but especially neurological system. So it leads to the nidra bramsha, shakrit grahana. Then indriya bramsha, loss of power of indriyas, or hampered or irregular in the sensory perceptions will be hampered because it is compared with the neuro function. The eye sensory, tongue sensory is connected to the brain, and that function is hampered or disturbed. Pralapa means incoherent. Pralapa means excessive talk. Pralapa, altered or excessive talkative person because of vata. Vata people generally speak more. When it increases, they speak much more. Brahma, giddiness, because of the vayu, vata guna, it leads to the giddiness. And dhinata, great misery. Oh, this can be observed in few patients. It leads to great misery. Okay? Brahma, dhinata. This is dhinata. In some contests, Indriyas are. Manas is a Ubhayendriya, Jnanendriya, Karmendriya, and Ubhayendriya. That is Manas. Now we will see signs and symptoms of increased Pitta. Pitam. Pitam means yellowish discoloration. Pitam means yellow color. Pitam vinmutra netra twak. Here I'm going to discuss this. V means wit. Wit means feces. Wit means feces or Purisha. Purisha. In Sanskrit it is also called as Purusha. Another name of Purusha is Vit. Vin, Mutra means urine, Netra means eyes, Twak means skin. The yellow discoloration of feces, urine, eyes and skin takes place. Shit means hungriness. Trid means Trishna means sati, not thirst. Daha means burning sensation. Obviously, Pitta, one of the properties increasing heat, it leads to burning sensation. Daha. Alpanidrata means reduced sleep. He had a lot of dehydration, so it leads to reduced sleep, which we can even observe in a summer season. In increased Pitta, we see Alpanidrata, whereas in increased Vata, we see Nidrahani, loss of sleep, which is irregular sleep in Vata, whereas it is a reduced sleep in Pitta. Now we will go to the Sleshma. Sleshma, another name of Kapha, synonym of Kapha, Sleshma. Sleshma Agnisadana, dyspepsia. Agnisadana, Praseka, Alasya, Gauravam. Shvaitya Shaitya Slata Angatvam, Swasa Kasa Atinitrata. Now we will see each of things detailedly. First, Agni Sadhana. As Kapha increases, Hima means Stambane Himaha. Hima means Stambanam means condensation, which leads to Agni Sadhana. Agni Sadhana, Agni Sadhana means the heatness in Grahani decreases. It leads to indigestion and obviously leads to Agni Sadhana, dyspepsia. Okay? And Praseka, increased lalas. Praseka means lalaswaram. Generally, we can find this praseka in children when they are sleeping. The childhood is characterized by kapha dosha. And when kapha further increases in children, we generally see this praseka, lalaswaram, salivation. Alasya, idleness, they are sthira guna of kapha, which leads to this lazy alasya means not idleness, actually this is laziness. Gauravam, they will feel heavy in the body because the muscle, which is a major tissue in body, which get increases. So it leads to gaurava, heaviness. Kapha ashraya bhava, kapha is ashraya bhava for even majja. So it even leads to heaviness, laziness. You should compare when this with the majja and mamsa, rasa, shukra. I will say further. Shvaitya means pallor, means whitish color, which is not a good sign. Actually, it is not pallor, pallor, which is not a good sign, but it is a bad color of white. Actually, Shvaitya. Shaitya, coldness. When Vata increases, Hima increases, it leads to the coldness. Slata Angatva, loosening of organs, laxity of organs. Slata Angatva. Swasa. Shwasa means cough. No. Shwasa means breathing problem, dysfunctions of lungs, because avalambaka kapha, which stays in lungs, and kasa means cough. Atinidrata, it leads to laziness is increases and it leads to oversleeping. And this is rasadhatu, which is ashraya of kapha. Raso api sleshmavat, which it is when rasadhatu increases, similar symptoms are observed as that of sleshma, because rasadhatu is an anabolic in function, as similar to as of kapha, which is anabolic in function, which provide nutrition to all the dhatus. Rasadhatu provides nutrition as similar to that of kapha dhatu. So these go similarly hand in hand, kapha and rasa. So what are the symptoms we observed in sleshma will be observed in rasa dhatu too. Next, rakta. Rakta dhatu is ashraya bhava with pitta, which is site of pitta. Ashraya with pitta. Rakta visarpa pliha vidradhin. Visarpa means cellulitis, inflammation of the cell RBC cells. Pliha means spleen, can be compared to the spleen. When rakta increases, you can see spleen is a graveyard of RBC, and it leads to splenomegaly. Vidradhan, abscesses. Kushta, vatasura, pittasura, gulmopakusha kamala. Vyanga agninasha sammoha raktatvanetra mutrataha. These we can observe these all symptoms by the increase of rakta. Abscesses due to the accumulation of pus. As the cell increases, it might burst and lead to formation of pus. Due to of cellulitis, cell increases its size, inflammation, which is a bad condition and might lead to formation of cyst and followed by formation of pus abscesses. Kushta means a type of skin disease. Vatasra, Pittasra. Asra means blood. Vatasra, Pittasra. Vatasra can be compared with inflammation of joints, cellular tissue, or chief ankle joint at where place some sort of bending happens. So it is Vatasra. It can be compared to diseases like gouty arthritis and just gouty arthritis. Pittasra, which can be compared with bleeding disorders, excessive bleeding. It leads to some excessive bleeding disorders. When we have a cut, it leads to more bleeding than usual. Here he said about vata but not about platelet increase, so we have to be careful. Gulma, abdominal fullness, because of there is no heat. Why there will be no heat? Rakta is a pitta asraya. Here we see Agni Nasha. Rakta is a pitta asraya. As Rakta increases, pitta should increases, so there should be more heat, but actually it does not happen. Why? Because if we study Srotas, due to increase of Rakta, blood from Grahani region will be moved to other parts of body. So there will be less pitta in Grahani region where actual digestion happens, where heat resides, where pitta main part, and it leads to Agni Nasha, dyspepsia. Automatically it will lead to abdominal fullness, gulma. Upakusha, a bleeding disorder. What is Upakusha? I wrote here, Upakusha, Danta Mamsa Rogam. Danta means teeth, Mamsa means gums. The bleeding disorder of Danta Mamsa Rogam. Some sort of disorders, not only just bleeding, any type of disorders or some internal infections. Vyanga. What is Vyanga? Hyperpigmentation. When blood increases, it leads to hyperpigmentation, a pinkish color or red color dots on the face. Especially we can observe more on face and even on other parts of body, which face is more easily available to observe through darshana. Vyanga, Agninasha, we discussed about Sammoha, which is quite important. Fainting. Next, Rakta, Tva, Netra, Mutra, Ta. Reddish Rakta means here, Rakta is reddish coloration of Tvan, Netra, Mutra. Tvan means skin, Netra means eye, Mutrata means urine, which leads to the reddish color of eye, skin and urine. Now we'll go to the Mamsa Dhatu. Now, what happens when Mamsa Dhatu got increased? Mamsam Gandu Arbuda Granti Gando Uru Udara Urditaha Kantadi Shwadi Mamsa. No? Gandarbuda. Arbuda. First we'll see Arbuda. Here. And Arbuda. Disease affect Arbuda means large tumor, which includes malignant rarely. And Arbuda Granthi, Arbuda Granthi, Granthi, benign lumps which are benign cysts, and Gando Uru, Gandoru Udara. Here Uru will come and Udara. Uru, not Uru, Gando Ura Udara. This U matra, this U matra will come here. Udara. Ura Udara. Now we will see what is Ganda means cheeks, and Uru means thigh, and Udara means abdomen. There is an Vrudita. Vrudita here means they got increases. At least they said some sort of fat deposition, but not exactly fat deposition. You can compare with the fat. You can say fat deposition. Just a minute. Here I just refer Uru Udara. Uru means thigh, Udara means abdomen, Vrudita means increasing of this three part. Ganda means cheek. Ganda means cheek, and Uru Udara thigh. There is a Vrudita means there is an increased fat deposition in these areas. First, we left this first part. Ganda means what is Ganda? Galaganda and Gandamala. What is Mala means a beaded appearance in a string. So it leads to a beaded appearance. It is usually found in cervical lymph, and it is Gandamala. Galaganda means goiter. Gandamala will be seen in cervical lymphangitis, and even in any other part of the body. Now we're coming to the second line. Gando means there is an usually this affect soft tissues like thyroid. Ganda formation means Ganda means a type of cyst, not cyst, tumor, cyst or tumor type of formations. This is different from this. Here the meaning is cheek. Here this is formation of some type of extra growth of tissue. Coming to second line, Kanta Adi Ishva Adi Mamsa. Kanta, what is that meaning of Adi? The Adi, what is the meaning of Adi? Adi implies here, this Adi implies Talu and Jiva. Kanta Adi Ishva Adi Mamsa. Kanta Adi Ishva, excessive growth of Talu and Jiva. Adi means excessive growth, extra muscular growth. Dhi Mamsa means extra. This the implies adi. Kandadishvadi means extra growth of mamsa tissue. Now we'll see about medas, which is fat. Which is fat T tissue or lipid. We can even compare it with the lipid. We'll see, keep a low color. Lipid or fat, both comes. Now, tadvayanmeda stataha shramaha, which we will find even in kapha, laziness. This is not laziness, but easily they will get exhaust. This shrama means they will easily get exhaust, fatigueness due to excess of fat. Alpo alpi chestaha, shrema alpo alpi chesta. Alpo alpi chesta shrema means even by doing small work, alpo alpi means small work, they get fatigue. Chesta. The first alpo alpi chesta shrema. Alpo alpi chesta shrema. Swasa, we know. Swasa means a breathing problem. Some sort of problem in intake due to excessive fat, dysnopia. Here they give this means abnormal function. Neo means lungs, pneumonia, abnormal function from some disturbance in lungs. And svik means buttock, stana means breast, udara means abdomen, whereas uru means thigh, whereas urasthanam means chest region, and udara means abdomen. Svik stana stanodara, svik stanodara lambanam means saggity, loose, hanging or saggity. Asti, now we will go to the asti dhatu. Astya adyasti adimam adidanti dantamsha. Astya adyasti adidantansha. See, again here the word letter the, which implies excessive. Asti, adyasti. What is this adya? Increase in extra forming abnormal bone growth, extra ossification. He will be very long, thick bones and long bones. In some people you even find thick bones. If you after 21 will find thick bones. Adidanta means extra growth. Here adi means extra, more. Adidantamsha means extra teeth formation. We can find in increased signs of asti dhatu. Majja can be compared with bone marrow. I'm going to write here the red. Bone marrow, eye, and brain and spinal cord. So, why I am saying these three things? There is a bit controversy regarding majja. What is majja? Anything which is surrounded by a bone is a majja, according to few acharyas, and according to few acharyas it is just bone marrow. Even our eye is surrounded by facial bones. our brain is surrounded by cranial bones. It doesn't matter whether they are flat or long bones. But according to few acharyas, these are the their opinions. So now we'll go to the sloka or poem in English. Majja netra anga gauravam parvasu sthulamulani kuryat krichinya cha. First we'll just see first line. Majja netra anga gauravam. When majja increases, netra means eye, anga means organs, gauravam means heaviness. So I just said majja is, according to some acharyas, even our eye is a majja. Anga, when bone marrow increases, the density increases, the weight increases, and we will feel heaviness. So this is very simple to remember. Coming to the second line, which is, we have to read like this. What is meant by parvasu? Parvasu means joints. Arumshi means carbuncles. First, krichana means pained carbon, which is difficult to cure or which creates a pain, lot of discomfort. Krichana, arumshi, which are pain and which are difficult to cure, carbuncles, arumshi. Parvasu, stulamulan, which parvasu means joints, which are formed at joints where they are sthula means gross or deeply rooted. Mulani means rooted. Sthula means deeply or gross. Mulani means rooted. Along with the joints, this arumshi, when they are rooted like this, they cause severe pain and which are difficult to cure and difficult to treat. Here, which is difficult to be treated. They said something like this. Why is this showing something like this? Shukra. When increased sperm counts, it is generally, we can see. Atisri kamata, he will be having desire for sex, he will be passionate for sex. Atisri kamata vruddham means increase, shukra means sperms or semen. When semen or sperm increases, it leads to vruddha atisri kamata. Vruddham atisri kamata. Shukra ashmiri. Shukra means seminal or sperm. Ashmiri means caliculi. It forms small stones. Now, what happens if Purisha got increases? Purisha is feces. Feces. Purisha. Kuksha means abdomen. Kuksha. Kyava. Atopa. Admanam. Atopa means Atopa and Admanam are similar terms, whereas Atopa means sounds of fluids and gases, whereas Admanam means distension. Admana is distension, but due to formation of these fluids and gases, when increased Purisha, it's just fermented, and you can just use the term fermented, and it leads to swelling, not swelling with lots of fluid, but it is usually due to the gases. It is not permanent swelling due to some underlying cause of liver, but it is due to the purisha, and it leads to distension and it leads to discomfort. And gauravam, which means heaviness. Gauravam heaviness, we feel heavy discomfort. And Vedana, Kalki pain. You can see when you stop your feces, which is one of the 13 Vega, you will feel very pain or very much discomfort. Mutra. Mutra to Vasti Nistodam. Vasti means bladder region or perineum region. Vasti can be compared with the broth. Krute Atya Krute Apya Akruta Sanyata. Apya Akruta Sanyata. Krute Api. Krute Api. Oh, I have written here. Krute Api Akruta Sanyata. Oh, this came. Mutram, when urine increases, it leads to Vasti Nistoda, Kalki pain. Nistodam means pricking or Kalki pain of Vasti, bladder region. Here we have to compare, we can see only bladder region, not perineum, because where urine gets stored is urinary bladder. But in some other context, you will find even perineum. So we will leave that later. You will just see it is bladder region now. Vasti Nistodam, Krute Akruta Sanyata, Krute Api Akruta Sanyata. Akruta Sanyata means ingratitude, not gratitude, not satisfied. Akruta Sanyata, not satisfied. Api means even on miscuration, on urination. Api means even on. They will not be satisfied even after miscuration or urination. Now we'll see Sweda. Now Svedo Atisveda Dhaurgandhya Kandu. When Sveda increases, Sveda means sweat. It leads to unpleasant odor and Kandu, itching, which leads to itching or itching. Okay, that is a correct word for you. Yeah, itching is a correct word. Unpleasant odor or offensive odor. And evam, there are other malas which have to be studied compulsorily. They are evam chalakshete. Dushika means mala from eyes. Dushika. Dushika, mala from eyes. Adinam, what is this Adi Shabda? Adi Shabda implies Akshimala, Netramala, Grahanamala, means Granamala. Here, Adi Shabda implies no malas from the nose and ears, along with the ruim, which is a mala of eye. Adinam api malanam, even Dushikadinam api, even, and these Pimalanam, these are api, even these are malan. These are also a malas, a type of dhatu. Mala can be malas. These are also malas. These are also wastes of body. They can be identified by bahulya. When they increase, they produces gaurva, guruta, dibihi. When they got increased, they produces bahulya. Bahulya means when they got increased. Guruta means increase, it causes heaviness. When they increases, it leads to the heaviness. So we have to identify by our own. Can I say anything left?